Okay. Well, hi.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, new digs, new space. How we
Still
feeling?
testing some things
We're
out.
testing some things
Feels
out.
like a rehearsal.
It does
It feels like a rehearsal for
for
sure.
things that are much bigger.
You never know.
All right. Well, let's get straight to it because we got a lot to get into today.
Don't you know you got 30 minutes?
Okay, so we're gonna make the most of what we can for these 30 minutes. So without further ado, what's up, everybody? I'm Mark Monroe, accompanied by my wonderful co-host, co-producer, and co-creator in all things galactic. Give it up for none other than the wonderful.
It's JolynGC and the place to be. What does it? Cousins on this fine Tuesday.
All right, and welcome to the Come Up series. If you're new here, Jumbo. If you have been around here before, what's good? And if you are like just trying to, get back into the swing of things, we missed you. All right, so we got a lot to get into. If you checked out the title, today's title is pretty much are retail investors ready for the next market pullback or for the next opportunity? So there's a lot to break down in that. And so, Jolynn,
Yes.
we've been seeing a lot happening. So if you've been, not paying attention to today's days of our internet and days of our stock market, then pretty much, first things first, I got to give a huge shout out.
Who?
Shout outs to the Labor Temple.
Okay.
We're in this new podcast space, and ultimately, we're the first ever to actually film in here.
Really?
We're the first.
Oh.
So, all right. So, but yeah, so S&P 500 went to record highs, NASDAQ record highs.
It made a new record.
Yes. Shout outs to TQQQ.
A little under 6,500 though, Mark. We were talking about these numbers.
I'm just
we
saying,
were talking about
I'm
these
just
numbers,
saying,
though.
I'm trying to keep my composure.
Mhm.
I'm going to be, respectful. I'm going to keep it very PG.
Okay. The Dow Jones is up too. NASDAQ was up. Record close for NASDAQ.
Yes. Yes. And you know what's so funny? It wasn't even NVIDIA doing all the heavy duty lifting.
Well, they're
shout
saying,
outs to Apple,
Well, they're also saying that July's CPI, aka the Consumer Price Index, also contributed to the rally.
Low CPI.
Yeah.
So that came in low.
At 2.7% year over year.
Mm-hmm.
They were expecting the 2.8% though. So
yeah.
Now what that means though? Remember what we talked about for September? Rate cuts.
And so we got a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
So how should we even get this started? Because, all right. So should we turn it into a breakdown, or how should we do this?
I do like the idea of a breakdown. So I just want to set the stage. So a couple of episodes back.
Yes.
We were talking about.
I'd be forgetting my episodes.
Well, a couple episodes back, we were talking about what was going to be on the horizon for September.
Yes.
And there was one episode, it could have been like 2 episodes back or so,
yeah,
where the way things are setting up, it was looking like it was a 50% chance of a rate cut.
Now we're at 90%.
Like 94%.
Yeah.
So when there's a rate cut, break down what happens.
Oh, well, I mean, essentially when the Fed cuts rates, essentially like things like auto loans, home loans, and all those other things, they become a lot, cheaper because of the fact that you're not paying at such a high interest margin. And then on top of that, it also encourages banks to also get out there and start lending. So
first money
get that
gun.
money gun. I put it out there on the thumbnail for us with Jerome with the money gun. So I was gonna do the Jerome money printing, but
I like the money gun.
YouTube needs to allow us to have GIFs for like thumbnails.
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, you're probably, and I think that the market has been pretty much literally running on the guys that essentially that we're going to see rate cuts this year.
Yeah, and we have to because we also had a weak jobs report too.
We did. It was well. We got a revised jobs report after, like, we hear numbers of 140, and then that. How do you go from 140,000 to 35, or what was it, 39,000?
I don't remember what the number was, but it was a substantial correction.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
That's fraud. Anyway, so we also have lower inflation.
We do. For now.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
So this type of environment is the type of environment that investors need to be paying attention to.
Yes.
So we take that in consideration. Plus, we also take into consideration like where we are in this moment in time.
Yep.
Where we are standing on the ground floor.
Yep.
Of a technological revolution, and we've been saying that the stage has been getting set for a while. So really, okay, this is how I feel. It's like, okay, it's one thing. You guys know that we have the Tech Wealth Summit coming up, and we plan to really get into some things there. But it's to the point now where, like, I legit don't even have patience. Like, if you are broke in 2026, you can't be friends. Like, you can't sit at the table because so many opportunities have been provided to, get this information, to link up with others who have the same mindset as you. There really, at this point, there just isn't any excuse.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to more of us really sharing in sharing in the wealth that is ready for a transfer.
I agree 100%. 100% with that. And so, yeah, I mean, after a while, it's kind of crazy because I think Tom Lee said it best. It's a bubble when, everybody else is out, like when your friends are benefiting and you're not. Then it's like the bubble bursts when essentially like when everybody is ultimately, losing all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
we need winners.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, well, for me, from what I've been seeing from like, shout outs to the folks that like shoot me messages on Instagram and, Twitter. I still read those things just as a heads up. I may not be the person that always responds, but, I definitely read them. And then of course I take in your questions and try to bring them into, episodes like today. But it's been amazing watching y'all winning. So like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, July is naturally my horrible month of trading. I think I've finally come out on that confessional.
Your birthday month, yeah.
And, honestly, I'm, back in the game. Not as an active trader, just as a heads up. But it's interesting because just like seeing all the folks out there through the month of July, just like, saying, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing well, I'm doing good, that's incredible for me.
Confetti.
So shout outs to y'all. I'm really, really proud of y'all.
I'm proud of this camera for not moving when I did that.
I turned it off.
Oh, good.
But don't test it though.
Okay. I just did.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we got the upcoming Fed rate hikes or rate cuts in September. We'll probably expect that probably around the same time as the summit. So
that'd be nice.
It's going to happen. You're expect a 25 basis point cut. At best, maybe 50 basis points, but I'm in the camp of 25 basis points. Okay. Let's see here.
Also, one of the things, Mark, was we need to talk about what's going on with the semiconductors.
Oh, we got some stuff to address.
Okay.
So which one do you want me to address first?
Let's talk about what's happening specifically with China.
And the semiconductor,
NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah, so if you journey back in time with me, there was a point in time where where the first set of chips, like the H1 chips, were ultimately banned from China, and because of national security as well as other related things, like due to this trade war. And then, of course, NVIDIA and Jensen Huang was like, hey, we need to, figure this out because we're missing out on a massive market that also benefits the U.S. When he sat down with the Trump administration, I think a few months back. And then I think we heard that like the H20 chip, which is supposed to be a chip that's designated specifically for China, Now we're hearing about like, issues of national security from China saying, hey, whoa, wait a minute, like, no, something ain't good in the milk.
But this ain't something they clean in the milk. My friend, she's hella country. She be saying that all the time.
And so pretty much we're hearing rumblings that China is telling its corporations not to purchase any of those NVIDIA chips. But what I honestly believe that as we get closer towards these negotiations, because technically we haven't actually heard what the real full onset deal is between the US and China.
Okay.
We've heard some things, but we haven't heard like the full, like, with other countries after a deal has been made, which is honestly 25% or 15% tariffs. And then maybe we'll throw in some of these other things. I think that's ultimately, what we're kind of like waiting on to see how it finalizes. But interesting fact, plot twist.
I like a plot twist.
US is literally like becoming more like China and taxing its companies and saying, hey, you want to play the game? You getting up there, buddy.
Straight money grab.
We're gonna charge AMD and NVIDIA 15%, to which that they agreed.
Right, but none of that money is gonna benefit taxpayers.
No, it's not going to benefit taxpayers.
It's greed.
I mean, consumers are still going to pay, and ultimately, yeah. But here's the crazy part, though. If you think about it, like, let's say if you have, like, let's take the smaller one, AMD. Like, this represents a $100 billion opportunity for them over 3 years. But then you're taking a cut of, like, they only have to pay a haircut of 15% of that. So I'm going to sacrifice $15 billion to make 85.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but and at the same time, it's just.
And then on top of that, I might be able to, and I might be able to write that off also.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why you saw like when that announcement hit, like people were like kind of scratching their heads at first. And then when people started to think about the math, like here's the thing, always come back to the math. Like that's the thing. The math is always like rudimentary, foundational, like always come back to it when we think about earnings, when we think about projections, outlook, the economics behind it. It always must come back to the math. And if the math don't make sense, then it's not going to make sense, period. But, currently, like I said, we're seeing massive opportunity. And honestly, I think we got a little star of the show that's like kind of like making his way here.
You won't see him though.
Yeah, you probably won't see him. You may see his head pop up. Oh, there he goes. But yeah, so essentially, that's honestly where I would say pay attention as we move forward, especially since we're hearing talk of, okay, all right, he's fine. When we see, like, for example, Apple talking about 600 billion over X period of time.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Billion with a B.
Yeah. I mean, but it's kind of funny because, we've seen this before, right? When Apple mentioned, the massive investment and then only invest like maybe, what was it? I think the number was like maybe 5 billion or 10 billion. So it's really going to come down to what does the math look like? So, yeah.
Well, okay. So now we have the stock chips. I said stock chips. You guys, I'm so tired. Okay.
The semis.
We have semiconductors. We talked about that.
Yep.
So now moving on, Mark. Okay. Yep. And we also talked about the Fed. So did we say everything we need to say about inflation? I think we did.
I mean, tariffs will it's still too early to call, but we're starting to see like some retailers, and I would say over the next few weeks, pay attention to your local retailers, supermarkets, food, and everything else. You may see a bump in, say, for example, prices. I think that's ultimately retailers preparing and ultimately just getting an early jump on it.
We had a long conversation today with Cam about the cost of things compared to LA.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm probably sure that like Seattle has gotten a little bit more pricier.
Yeah.
In comparison.
But we had an expert in the field.
Oh, well.
Tell us.
There you have it. So
Cam, he's the expert in the field.
Oh, the food
he
connoisseur.
He had reports and everything, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has his analytics reports. So shout outs to Cam. By the way, if you guys don't watch their podcast, you got to watch it on Unapologetic. Yeah. So it's pretty dope. And you probably just heard him in the background. So yeah. Thanks, Cam.
We're literally looking at him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now that we are, I feel like we do need to touch on well, one, I've had a lot of questions about the summit.
Okay.
Like a lot. I mean, I've answered them. I think if you didn't get your question answered, message me again, but I've been staying on top of those questions.
Okay.
Those specific questions. But let's talk about like the positioning of the summit in the grand scheme of what we're getting prepared for with like the Fed and the rate cuts, and like, can you give us
a sneak peek?
Yeah.
So one of the keynotes that I'm going to be talking about is like last year I did, to 2026, like by the end of 2026. And so far, like, that analysis has been playing out.
More confetti, but I can't really do it because the camera might.
This year I'm doing 2028.
Okay.
And honestly, it's setting up a stage, and it's setting the story for, like, this is probably going to be the deepest analysis and the deepest playbook that I've ever given.
So like Matrix vibes?
It's definitely going to give Matrix vibes. I think that this is actually going to like supersede any Matrix that I've ever done, because of just the amount of thought and the amount of reporting, the amount of time that I've also spent with folks like discussing on Wall Street to like just cross-reference and compare notes. Like I really went deep into my, analysis bag, just to like, bring it forth and of course make it digestible, but there's some things that are shocking. There's going to be some things that are going to be potentially scary. There's going to be some things that are very insightful.
A little shocking.
Very much so. And on top of that, there's going to be some things that are cool, like as it pertains to like, this could possibly be, the opportunity for that wealth transfer to transpire. And so, hey, do with I've given you the information, do with it as you will. So that's going to be one of the things that we bring forth. A lot of the things that, what I try to introduce, the cousins to, is things that are like literally being impacted by the market. So that way people can get an early jump on those things. And, of course we're going to, in typical Come Up Series fashion, we're going to do the same thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be dope to see almost like a comparison of what was shared last year and what's
last year is came and hold a candle to what I'm going to be doing this year.
Okay, well then, There you go. Mic drop. Pick the Mac back up because we're not done with the show.
Yeah, we're not.
That was the moment. Okay, so I know one of the questions was like, oh, I'm paraphrasing. What's the experience going to be like? So on Thursday, y'all. Well, first let me back up. Tech Wealth Summit is September 18th through the 20th. So that's a Thursday through Saturday.
Yep.
Check-in starts at 2:00 on Thursday, and we should be done approximately 6 p.m. on Saturday.
Yep.
Now, granted, there will probably be some after-party shenanigans, but for those of our East Coast friends that need to get back to the East Coast, we're going to have to bid you adieu, and everyone else that can stay. Anyway, so that's pretty much the setup. So check in at 2, done by 6. It's one of those things where you're really going to have the opportunity to lock in. Yeah. So that's one of the things. I'll be doing the opening keynote. So you know me, I like to set the tone for what the heck is going on. Okay. So you know what it is and what it ain't.
Okay.
And then also we are going to be, so there's a founders bash. Can you talk about that? Because some people were saying, well, is it a part of the summit?
So shout outs to Ascend, one of our sponsors for this year. They also supported us last year. They're a venture capital firm where they focus on early stage to growth startups, and they host what is called a Founders Bash. and they invite pretty much the who's who of the venture capital community, and pretty much startups are able to attend. Now, of course, it's not like everybody in their neighborhood can attend, but it's more so in the sense of first come first serve. And so the beautiful thing about our VIPs that did for the summit, they got access to the Founders Bash, so they made pretty much way for anybody who bought their VIP tickets.
You mean the first round of VIPs?
The first round of VIPs, okay. They got access to the summit. And then also to the Founders Bash. Now it's going to be pretty much, you're in a room full of like pretty much folks who are creating some of the dopest bleeding edge things that are like literally raising, like you'll probably be in the room with a company that probably just raised $35 million, or a company that's in the process of closing a $50 million round, or a company that's just getting started that day and might be coming to the event looking for founders or looking for investors. So if you're that type of person, then this is where like we set that forth, where it benefits each and every single one of you. And as a caveat, drums please.
Nails.
So Kirby, who's the managing partner of Ascend, will also be doing a fireside chat with me the next day, on Friday, to sit down and talk brutally honest about venture capital and like what startups and founders need to know.
So now, if you're not a startup and you're not a founder, you get to look at this from your investor hat.
Correct.
Like on the private side. It's really important, like as an investor, you develop those skills to recognize the money. You know what I'm saying? Like on the private side and on the public side. So if you're not a startup and you're not a founder, and you decide to attend the Founders Bash as one of the early rounds of VIPs, then go to it with the mindset of, okay, as an investor, is this a company that I would invest in? And if not this company, what is the sector? What is the opportunity within the sector or within the industry? So you want to be thinking of it from that perspective.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because a lot of times, like people, like a lot of you reach out to me and ask me like, Mark, well, why is it that you hit startups so hard? The reason why is because, truth be told, a lot of you ask me why is it that I'm so sharp when it comes to the publicly traded markets, is because of the fact that I made my bones in the startup world. And if you can understand that world, then the publicly traded markets are a breeze. Like it's literally a breeze, because by the time when you get to the publicly traded market, it's like everything's already been proven. Whereas when you're going through, say, for example, the startup world, things are having to be proven. The new sectors are having to be proven, and ultimately they're having to be market validated. So you get to see that in real time. And then it gives you an idea of how big the next market opportunity will look like, which, I mean, they probably may not go public, but they probably may be gobbled up by a publicly traded market, which ultimately increases their market cap opportunity. So that's the reason why I try to like literally merge those two worlds for people to understand. So,
I mean, we're going to be moving into a place and space where skills are going to be important. Knowing what AI is going to be taking over versus what other skills that AI cannot do is also another way to stay on top of like where the money is going to eventually go, like where the opportunities are going to flow. So, it's a great exercise in thinking bigger. And if you're a day one cousin, or even if you're a day two cousin, you already know how important it is to think bigger.
Yeah. So then it's now official. Our other sponsor.
Oh, yes, we got to talk about them. Go ahead.
So Bolt.
So remember when I was telling you guys about how my tech background is, it's cute. It's cutesy. It's a cute, solid tech background. But it's more so when I think about tech background, like I'm not an engineer or anything like that. But the ideas, I mean, the ideas are there. And I feel like there are a lot of cousins that may not have like that engineer or coding background, but they have the idea, or they know someone who can do like the technical side of things. Well, now in the good old age of AI, as the infrastructure, remember we talked about this, was that 2 weeks ago, Warren? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. When AI is looked at as the infrastructure and not just like, some cute little feature, we're in the position now, especially with Bolt, to use AI to code and build the apps for you. So just how, like, you can talk to ChatGPT, aka Aisha, and say, "Hey, girl, I would like to build X, Y, and Z app that does the following things." Bolt now makes it easier to do that, and it's wonderful that they're going to be a sponsor, because we're of the position where you're coming to this summit, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
You are rolling up your sleeves. You are going to have an idea, and at the end of the day, you will either have the blueprint for that idea or the full-blown app that can be monetized. Like, the cool thing about Bolt is that there's already built-in features for like this direct to market model.
Amen.
And also Bolt is so cool because they are, I don't know how many credits they're giving, or tokens.
You want me to tell them?
Yeah, people need to know.
So I think that what's going to happen is that I think that there's going to be between 10 to 20 million credits. Like, so that's a lot when you think about how many different ideas that you
already
built.
You guys hear that?
Right. And so it's pretty much like you'll pretty much have you'll have access to Bolt for free for the entire summit.
So it's low key another heist, but in the sense of you need to take that time to roll up your sleeves. You can connect with other people, and the 2 of you, 3 of you, however you want to do it, your money gang, y'all get together, lock arms, use
make some things happen.
Bolt to figure out, throw out an arbitrary number, like, all right, we're going to make an app, and we're going to be thinking about what's the roadmap to the first 100K or whatever. Just pick a random number, and that's the type of time that we're going to be on at the summit. You should be leaving. That is our goal and our intention and our wish and our hope and prayer, that you leave with something. Okay, Denzel, like, you leave with something.
Yes.
It's it's cute to leave with, when you go to other conferences, it's cute to leave with a little cute tote bag, a little mug,
or a few LinkedIn contacts.
Right, that's cute. However, you could literally be leaving with legacy. Okay,
I need y'all to be leaving this summit with either an idea that gives you $1 million in ARR, or having an investment thesis that gets you to $1 million.
Everybody needs to have a roadmap.
That's going to be the 2 roadmaps. Like, if it's not one of those two, not one of those two, don't come.
Real talk.
Like, for real, don't come. Like, it's like I'm so dead. Can I get serious real quick?
Please do.
Okay, so I'm not one of those types of individuals where I care significantly about people just coming up just to of course, definitely want to shake your hand, definitely want to say hello, definitely want to understand hear about your journey. But I don't want to, your journey is not done. What I want to hear about is what's the next thing that you're building? What's up? What's the next mountain that you're going to climb?
That you're going to summit and it's at the summit.
And it's right. And it's not about it's so funny, and you can call it shade, you can call it whatever you want to. The summit is not anywhere near close to what InvestFest is. We're not the same. So InvestFest, you have a lot of thought leaders that are in the form of celebrities that come forth, and they're going to tell you their stories of how is it that they got there and everything else. But they're not going to really leave you with anything as it pertains to a blueprint of what it is that you need to do. And the reason why we created the summit is because of the fact is that you're climbing this mountain, and we're helping you get up this mountain. So that way, essentially, you actually have a blueprint of what to do, how to do it, and also have thought leaders who also can literally connect with you and show you this is how you do it.
Right.
And this is how the game is played. This is how you play the game. This is how you build. And so, each one probably has its own space in time as it pertains to what they provide. But, that's the type of time and energy, when you think about coming to the summit, you're here to build. You're here to literally put forth the next steps that literally go towards building it. You can still network with other folks. You can still do that. But the ultimate objective is execution.
Network. Execution, and also, so it's going to be clocking into a job. We're starting at 9. We probably will end by 6.
Bet.
On Friday, 9 o'clock, end at 6. Saturday, there's something, 9 a.m., end at 6 p.m. So,
yeah,
you're clocking in.
Yeah. So, before we go, so let's talk about the main thing of why people came here, probably to this video today. which is...
Oh, yeah. I be getting carried away, y'all. I'm the one who's supposed to keep us on track. Go ahead.
Retail investors.
Yes.
Retail investors. Legit. What's will there be a pullback as it pertains to the next opportunity? Simply put, yes, there is a pullback that will probably come, maybe either in the form of either 2 to 5%, or if things get even more dire, it will probably be 10% at best. I think that when we cross the 6,500 marker at S&P 500, we'll probably, we're very close. We'll probably take a beat. We'll probably take a breather there. And I think that that's going to probably come around the same time that NVIDIA reports its earnings. Now, the only thing that's probably keeping this rally up and going is Apple's now got ramped up, and essentially they could be on their road to 250 as it pertains to price. They're not that far. And I think that that's an arbitrary number because I think that it's a very mental number for Apple, 250. And if it can hold and rest above that 250 number, we could probably see it can go a little bit higher. But I think in the grand scheme of things, we're going to take a beat there.
Okay.
Around NVIDIA's earnings when they report. So we're probably going to see this run up continue going into NVIDIA's earnings. And then after that, we're probably going to see, after they report, we're probably going to see, the profit taking transpire, the harvesting of the market. I think it's going to be the harvesting. And I think the beautiful part about that is a lot of folks get scared about when the market produces these opportunities. So we're looking at about around late this month to early, around the time of September Fed. And I think that honestly, if I'm being real, I would not be surprised that even though that the Fed reports that, we may see a jolt, but then also we see a sell-off.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if we see a sell-off when the Fed reports, hey, we're going to do rate cuts.
Yeah, because people are going to be repositioning their portfolios.
Repositioning the portfolio, and then I start looking for okay, hey, if we're in a rate cutting environment, if this is going to continue, then we're going to start looking for more risk.
Yeah.
I mean, the IPO market is heating up, which we're seeing some pretty dope IPOs. Shout outs to Figma. But yet at the same token, I think that we're going to see a lot of potential opportunities that set the stage for 2026, which, I mean, it's beautiful that I'm doing the summit this year, which will ultimately prepare as we go into the ending of my thesis from last year, going into the end of 2026. And then you guys will be very well prepared for what's coming in 2028. So,
yes. So
yeah. So
I'm excited for that. I did put the link to register for the summit on somewhere. It's somewhere in that chat. We'll probably make sure that it's added to the description box below the video.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one. TheTechWealthSummit.com. So make sure you are in the room, that you book your room at the same place at Motif, and especially while there's still rooms left. We might not be able to. Last year, we were able to secure more rooms, after maxing out. I don't think we're going to be able to get more rooms.
I don't think so. So yeah, we're coming close to the...
Yeah. So anyway, book your room, get your ticket, and we will see you all there. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I am too. I mean, this is, get ready for your final throw. This is the finale. Y'all, this is my last dance.
Oh, wow. That sounds so, dramatic. We should have cubes of music.
Here you
go. The way you said it.
I mean...
Well, okay, we'll talk more about it at the summit.
We shall.
Yeah.
We shall.
Yeah. So, I feel like that's it.
You sure?
Is there one more thing? Just kidding. I mean, we were talking about...
Well, I could give you a heads up of what Apple's going to release at their product event.
Yeah, let's talk about it. And then we got to go for
So
real.
Apple Watch SE. So there's going to be 3 Apple Watches that come out. Apple Watch Ultra, the standard Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch SE.
Nice.
Yeah. There's going to be probably a new HomePod that's going to come out. Which...
I don't even use my HomePod.
The little mini one?
Yeah, I have
I wish that they'd come out with the one with the screen. That would just
that
literally
would
change the game.
Yeah, mine is...
Because then imagine FaceTiming from your kitchen.
Mark is a huge FaceTimer.
I'm done.
Anyway.
I'm done. Yeah, so yeah, on that note. Is there anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, thank you guys so much for rocking with us on today's episode. You know what's so funny? Every time when I do that, Butter always knows when I say thank you.
He's guys. Ready to go.
He's like so ready. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Hold on.
Yeah, but that was a premature.
Point of order.
That's hilarious.
Thank you guys so much for watching us. We appreciate you. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We definitely want to hear what your thoughts are. Because we'll definitely go back and rewatch the comments.
Pay attention to earnings season.
Pay attention to earnings. Like I said, NVIDIA's earnings will probably set the tone for the things that will come next, given that they are the most valuable company on the market. So now that they hold that title, then essentially, hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I still expect a good earnings report, but at the same token, I think that they're going to definitely have a sell-off. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, I'm Mark Monroe.
And I'm JolynGC, and the place to be.
And this has been your Come Up. We will see you guys in
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Peace, y'all.